Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Amazon exclusive Venom 3-pack or Life Foundation 3-pack, whatever you want to call it. It is included with Venom, which I think is the best Marvel Legends Venom figure they've ever made, and I'll get into that in the review, as well as Agony and Riot, the two final symbiotes we needed to complete the Life Foundation team. So this is actually a big deal for Marvel Legends. I've been really wanting to complete that team, and the way that they did this, I'm very happy with, because not only do we get the two characters to complete the team that I and a lot of people have been wanting, but we also get the best Venom figure they've ever made, and that a lot of people have been wanting, including me. So overall, I don't have a lot of downsides to think about with this set. So without further ado, let's get into the Venom 3-pack review. Now, as always, before I go over the figures, I do want to go over the box first. Now, this is in the same kind of design as the Spider-Man 5-pack. It is a lot smaller, but it was, I think, the same weight just because of the Riot figure. This thing was very heavy and dense. It definitely feels like it's worth the price when you get it in your hands and you don't even open it. You don't even get to see the figures. And I picked it up and I was like, you know what? That's a fair price I paid. And by the way, I didn't mention it, but this set does retail for $120 Canadian, as well as I believe 90 American or 100. And this set is a hot seller. So if you want it, definitely pick it up, because it does go in and out of stock a lot, but it does go out of stock more than it goes in stock, is what I'm trying to say. Regardless, the bios read: Venom, captured by the Life Foundation and subjected to excruciating experiments, Eddie Brock finds himself forcibly separated from Venom as his captors seek to harvest the symbiote's offspring. Agony. Unique amongst her symbiote siblings, Agony possesses all the same abilities as her siblings, which with the added power to spit deadly acid. That's always a great added power. Marvel's Riot. One of 5 sibling symbiotes harvested from Venom by the Life Foundation, the Riot symbiote shows a predilection for hammers and other bludgeoning weapons, which we definitely do get with this figure. There you can see Venom, Agony, Riot on this side. Same thing on the side. On the top, you just get Venom. And then the art on this on the front of the box is just absolutely beautiful. It is the same artists that did this as the Spider-Man 5-pack. I believe it is the same signature to my recollection, but this art, just take this in. This is awesome. I know we want to get into the figures, but I don't want to just move past this art. This is absolutely amazing. I want to give credit where credit's due. Just the Riot looks so cool. And then the hair is obviously a lot longer than the actual figure. I wouldn't mind getting that in Legends. We probably won't, but that is huge. That's like Medusa length. And then Venom there with the head sculpt that he's included with, which is another reason why I really think this is the best Venom figure. But other than that, there really isn't a lot more to go over with this. So let's get into the figures, starting off with Venom. Okay, so why is this the best Venom, or Jagger Collector's so-called best Marvel Legends Venom? Now, there's actually a decent amount of reasons with that. We have been wanting a perfect Venom on this body since the Omega Red figure came out. This is the Omega Red body, and the problem with this body is there are 2 holes that are molded into the top, which was always going to be a little bit of a downside, but you know, you could fit stuff in as they did here. And last year we got something very close to it. We got a convention exclusive animated Venom on the retro card, and that was a very good figure. But I'll show it in the comparison, but it had this red and blue and very animated design with cell shading. Regardless, though, it was a very good figure. But in my mind, I knew that we were getting close to getting this figure. And that figure, by the way, had the 2 holes. So that was also a little bit of a downside. I was like, oh, if they do this, are they going to just leave the holes? And then one day this just gets revealed just out of nowhere, and then gets put up for pre-order, I think, with the other 2. I think that's how they revealed it. And I was absolutely shocked. I was like, this is everything that we've wanted in a Venom figure. We get the holes filled in, we get the best body, we get the exact paint that we want, and we get this head sculpt, which is insane for Marvel Legends. We got an Eddie Brock head sculpt before, but it was, in my opinion, atrocious. It was huge. It looked so weird. Didn't even look like a human, if I'm being honest. It had weird proportions. And then we got this, which is so amazing. You have that awesome side profile of Eddie Brock, but then you get the Venom on the other side with the mouth going through, and then just the teeth kind of going all the way around like it's going to fold on, and then the symbiote kind of folding around the head. That is absolutely awesome. And another reason why I really like this figure, which I will get into in the comparison, is if you have other Venom figures, this makes this figure and those other ones even better because of how you can swap the heads. I've been doing head swaps with the at least the Null and Venom, the Winged Venom, and those heads work really well with this one. I'll show that in the comparisons. Just thought I would mention it here, but as you can see, just take this thing in. It is absolutely amazing. Now, I don't want to ignore the accessories here. You do get another head sculpt, which isn't as good as the other one, but I actually really do like this one. It is definitely stylized, and I do want to mention that the eyes definitely have a more pearlescent color in there as opposed to just white, as you can kind of see on the torso. Now that I'm showing this head, I do want to bring up my main gripe with this figure and kind of my only gripe. And it's something that I'm not going to really consider as one because I'll fix it. It's not a huge deal, but I do find that the paint can come off fairly easily on this figure, at least the white parts. It looks fine there, but on the bottom part of the torso, you have those two little spots, and that was my doing. That wasn't what it looked like out of the box, but I think it's from the ab crunch going down like that, and that was a little bit annoying, but still, that's such a small gripe and easily fixable. This also has a little bit of a texture as the last one did, which is interesting, and then same thing on this eye, a little bit of it just chipped off. And I think that was me, but my point is, maybe if they could use some stronger paint or something, because I do remember similar stuff happening with the Venom that they did on this body last year, the animated one, and I wasn't a huge fan of that, but still, if that's my main gripe, we're doing pretty well here. Now, he's also included with a extra set of hands. You do get the two claws, one wide open claw and one kind of wanting to be open, but kind of gripping something at the same time, and then a set of fists, of course. So that is great to get, but as you can see, this is exactly what we've been wanting. Yes, it is certainly simple. The body is just the Omega Red body with the Venom design on it, but you do get these newly designed bottom halves of the arms, the forearms. They look really, really good. They were used on the previous Venom on this body, I believe. So they're not entirely new, but they were newly sculpted for a figure on the Omega Red body, which is very, very cool. Now the hands look pretty good. You do have the white paint there as well, which kind of chipped on this side, which whatever, I guess. But the Venom logo overall looks really, really good. And I love the added kind of texture on it. That was always something that I liked with the other one. I also did notice that the butterfly joints here just have a lot of weird marbling in them. Just lots of lines. That's not a huge deal, but just something definitely to note. And then the back, the logo looks just as good as the front. A little bit smeared there on the top left side. I do want to show you what this head sculpt does look like on the Venom. The tongue is absolutely awesome. I love that feature of the figure. This isn't definitely going to be for everyone. This is certainly stylized. And if anything, this is probably one of my least favorite heads of all the head swaps I've done to actually use on this body. I do like it on figures like the Winged Venom, and I'll show that. But that's funny that this head is actually one of my least favorites to use on this body because of all the other ones. This is one of my favorites, but this is still a great head sculpt and definitely has versatility in other places. I just don't know if it's exactly perfect for this figure, if you know what I mean. But if I'm being entirely honest, other than that, I don't think there's too much for me to go over. So I guess let's quickly get into his articulation, and then let's get into the next figure. So the articulation is a main reason why we really wanted this figure on this body. The head does go up that much. It's the same on all the heads that I've swapped, as well as the one that's included down. You do get a little bit of tilt, not a lot. Full 360, which is great to get. And then the arms go out that much, and then you get literally the most insane range for a butterfly joint, which is just awesome, especially on an agile character like Venom. This is something that is definitely necessary. And, you know, recently I have been noticing that butterfly joints on Legends, yes, they've been doing them a lot more frequently than usual, but I find that they're not the same. They're very stiff. They don't have the same range as the good old days, the golden ages. I mean, I think we're still in them, but I just think, I don't know, it might just be me, but I feel like the butterfly joints, at least on the Vulcan body and the Amazing Spider-Man, the range has been very, very limited, unlike this, which is why we wanted Venom on this body. Anyway, there is bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which going a little bit more than 90. And then the hands, both pairs are on a horizontal hinge. So they go up, or yes, I guess up, down, and full 360. And then we do get ab crunch. Now, just learned from my mistake, don't push it all the way down. I don't think I did, but just keep that in mind, I guess. Back, the paint looks great going all the way through, and it's not on the back, but I would show that. Waist cut, full 360, legs kick forward that much. Back, splits, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, no boot rotation. That is one small gripe on this body, but not a huge deal. It's not entirely necessary on this figure. And then he does have ankles going up, down, and ankle rocker pivot. But overall, this Venom figure is definitely going to be on my top 10 for the year. Definitely going to be in the top 3. I think I'm going to say that, or at least top 5. That's how much I love this figure. I have not put this thing down, and I don't think you will either. But let's get on to the other figures, which are not as cool as this, in my opinion, but still are absolutely amazing figures. That's just why I love this set so much. So let's get into Agony. So Agony here is an absolutely amazing figure. It is using a bunch of modern female articulation and kind of just designs. We have the pinless double jointed knees as well as the pinless double jointed elbows, which is great to get. I love that we're just in this age where we're getting double jointed pinless female elbows every Tuesday. It's a great time to be alive. The head sculpt though, this thing is awesome. When I opened the box, I actually grabbed the figure first, and the head wasn't on it, and I kind of freaked out. I was like, uh-oh. But then I kind of felt around in the box, and then there was just this massive, like, snake, and then I was like, what is that? I was like, oh, right, that would be the head sculpt. But damn, this thing is insane. They really knocked it out of the park on this. It's certainly not as long as it is on the box. I definitely don't think I would have wanted it that long, but this is really good to get as well. You do even get that little bit of a curve, which, as you can see on the box, she's using her hair to kind of tie up his arm. So I guess you could maybe play around with that, see if you could get some cool photos. Regardless, there is a little bit of a more hot pink going through the hair. But what I find like a little bit of a problem with this figure is it starts and then it stops. It's like nowhere else. It's just at the top, and that's it. And I guess maybe that makes sense, but I don't know. That's just a little weird to me. The head sculpt, though, looks very, very scary and menacing. This is definitely an update to a female symbiote figure like the Scream figure. That was a good figure, but I really like this one a lot more just because of the updated body. I believe it's on Frankie Ray Nova. I think that's what it might be on. If not, it's on the Shriek, but still it's on one of the more modern female bodies. And you can see it is fairly simple, but the paintwork here is very well done. I just love the design of this. It's so cool. Just a hot pink symbiote. It's like, even if you don't know the character, it's just really cool to me. And then she is included with a extra set. Where did I put them? Oh, an extra set of fists, which is good to get. Some pink fists, but I do prefer these clawing hands. They're really, really cool. You do get one more that's kind of more open, and then you get this one, which is a little bit more closed, but still clawing nonetheless. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all I really have to say with this Agony figure. It's just absolutely amazing overall. 2 for 2 so far. But let's get into her articulation, and then the final figure being Riot. So articulation is, as you would expect on this figure, it's very good, but the head does definitely have a lot of limited articulation going in the back and the front. It's just crazy. It's great movement. But going backwards, well, I guess not really. It can kind of go to the side that much, but you can't go like straight back just because of how the hair is sculpted. But still, you do get a decent amount of movement. I do find recently, or not recently, just over the past few years, or my past 6-7 years of collecting Legends in general, that the necks on female figures with big head sculpts like these would get very, very loose. They're just, I don't know. And it feels very gummy and rubbery, and I'm scared to pull it off. Not that I would, just, you know, you should be able to have that option with your figures. And I just feel like with head sculpts like these, they just feel very, very breakable, which would be devastating, but hasn't happened yet. So I'll report in when it does. Hopefully it doesn't, but you do get a little bit of tilt. Arms do go out that much. Down, full 360, bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbows, and the hands, both pairs are on horizontal hinges, so up, down, and full 360, as well as ab crunch going down, back, side, side, full 360. Legs kick forward that much. They go back, splits, wow, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and the ankles go up, down, as well as ankle rocker pivot. So very, very good articulation on the Agony figure, and just a very good figure overall. Not good, great, I'd say. So let's get into the Riot. Now, lastly, here we have the Riot figure. Now, if I'm being honest, of the three, I might have to say this is my least favorite, which might be a little bit shocking, but still, I actually do like this figure a lot. I know it's not entirely loved across the board. I think display and model behavior had some things to say on it because I don't think it was the proper design. I was doing some research on the designs, and I did notice that he did have a more classic design, and then he had this, which I did notice that this was the less seen look, at least on my part, but the other designs for the other symbiotes seem to be similar for both designs, so maybe down the line we'll get that version of Riot, but for now this one is still very, very good. It is based on the Monster Venom body, which is a very, very good body and doesn't necessarily have a lot of figures that I imagine you could use it for, but this definitely does do the job. It is a complete reuse, so I do see what people mean about it being a reuse, which, you know, Marvel Legends, what do you expect? You got to just accept it or move on, and I've accepted it, and I think I've accepted it with ease because this piece is just really, really cool, especially the color scheme they went with. I just really, really like that design. Overall, he's included with one accessory. Now, this is one of the reasons why he's my least favorite of the set. He would be probably my second favorite if this was done how I would have wanted it, but the hand can come off. Now, you do get this awesome kind of just blade symbiote effect, which is great to get, and it does have a little bit of an angle in there, as you can see, so you can put it on both hands, but the problem that I have is that I at least find that it's going in the wrong direction, and you can't really turn it. You can turn it like that, but you can't go the other way. I would prefer if it would have been like this, at least. I think that would have made a little bit more sense because he could come smashing down with it. I mean, you can kind of try to do that, but I just find that this, I don't know, like, just hear me out. Like, there's only so many poses you can get with this arm, and you can get him doing this, you can get him doing this, and I'm doing like this. I just think none of these really make sense. I feel like if it was like this, you could have him like jumping from above, about to slam this down. You could have him going from the side, and it would look cool like this, just the end of the blade like pointed at you. But I don't know, this just is a little weird to me, and that might just be me. Let me know if you think I'm crazy or if you think that is a valid point. I'm open to all opinions, as always, in the comments. And then you can switch it with the other side, and it is the exact same situation as the other hand. Goes the other way, which, I don't know. I just find it should have gone the other way, but still, all things considered, that's not a huge gripe. Preferably, I was looking forward to that blade effect, and I'm a little bit disappointed by that, but the figure overall does look really good. It does have a little bit of extra paint with all this color here, all this blue. It has this gray, I think, just dark gray going through some parts of the figure, which is cool to get. And then the bottom of the figure, Monster Venom, not a lot new, like I mentioned, to go over here. But yeah, other than that, I think let's just get into, let's look at this head sculpt here quickly, close up. It is, or it does have the similar paint color as the Venom figure. It has that pearly white. I think it looks a little bit better here, though, and that head sculpt overall looks pretty good. Actually, I feel like they could have done something a little better here. The front view looks a little weird. The sides look fine, but the front just looks a little odd, and the paint looks missed. I guess that's what I'll say. But other than that, it is a pretty good figure overall. So let's get into his articulation. So the articulation on Riot is what you would expect from a Monster Venom body, but still I'll go over it. The head sculpt, oof, no, not like that. Goes up that much, a little bit stiff. He's huge. He is a Build-A-Figure, keep in mind. So you do get your value here, I think. Head goes up that much. Down. There is a little bit of tilt, not a lot. It is just kind of odd how the ball joint is placed on the figure when the head is facing forward. It's kind of going like a 45-degree angle, but still decent articulation on the head. Arms go out that much. Keep in mind, though, that there is a little bit of scuffing at least that I've done to my figure from doing that. So I don't know, just be a little bit careful with yours, but up that much, down, full 360. There's a bicep swiveled, single jointed elbow, which goes in exactly 90, and then both hands are on a horizontal hinge, so up, down, full 360. And this one is kind of gripping, it's still clawing, but the other hand is wide open, and the articulation on the blade hand is kind of just stationary, so I'm not going to go over that. Ab crunch goes down that much. Back, not a lot. Waist cut, full 360. Legs kick forward. Come on, that much. Back, not a lot. Come on, buddy. Splits, upper thigh cut. Build a figure, upper thigh cut, as you noticed. Double jointed, pinned, stiff knees, and then you do get a little bit of foot rotation. I'm not going to say boot rotation because that ain't a boot, but the foot does go up that much, down, and ankle rocker pivot. So pretty good articulation on Riot overall. Just wish that blade would have been the other way, at least to me. Let me know what you think of that in the comments below. I want to know if you think that is a valid point. So first, for comparisons, here we have the Riot next to the Monster Venom and the Toxin on the Monster Venom body. So they're all pretty much the same size, but they do all look very, very good. I haven't brought this figure out in a while. It's a really, really good figure. The color was always weird to me, but oh my goodness. I just got an idea. I'm going to cut to that. Sorry about that, but what I was getting at is I was just looking at the color on this, and I was like, that is very familiar to the Symbiote Spider-Man I just reviewed, and I was kind of confused why this figure had this color, but, I mean, I still am, but this kind of justifies it. These two look really good together. I want someone to do some photos with these. I think that would look really, really good. Wow. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's why it's good to pull out your old figures sometimes. It's definitely not most of the time because shelves will fall, and at least in my comparisons, I'll have to constantly put them back and forth on the shelves. But there are definitely a lot of upsides, especially when you find a figure that kind of is twins with it and would work very, very well in some photos or something. But anyway, I'm just rambling now, so let's get on to the next comparison. Wow, you guys don't understand how happy I am to see all 5 of these figures in frame. It has been so long. I think it's been about 5 years. That's when this figure came out, which was the Venom, or not the Venom wave, the Lizard Build-A-Figure wave in 2017, 2018, around that time. And then we got the Scream in 2018 with, or was it 19? It might have been 19 with the Monster Venom Build-A-Figure wave. And then in 2020, I think it was 2018. And then in 2020, we did get the Deadpool Venom Pool figure, and Phage was a part of that. And then 2022, 2 years later, we got these two. So you know what? We waited, and honestly, I can say it was worth the wait because I am actually very, very pleased with the 2 new Life Foundation members. But hey, I got the whole team now. They're going to look great on the shelf. And you guys probably, if you have these other 3, you got the whole team now. He is harder to find, but I'm just so happy to have all 5 of these. They look great. I guess I'll put Venom with them as well, just so you can kind of see what he would look like with them. Put him over here, maybe. Boom. I'm a happy camper, for sure. And then lastly, here we have the 3-pack figures next to the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, as well as the Carnage from the 2020 Venom Pool Build-A-Figure wave, which shockingly has not been re-released since then. I know this is a very desirable figure, and it's an entirely new sculpt, and they haven't even reused the sculpt for anything. So, I don't know. I'm kind of shocked that they haven't reused the figure or the sculpt at all, because, you know, Hasbro, they love doing that. But anyway, just something I was thinking about. But let's get into the main comparison. So this is the most important comparison to me because it is more than that. I'll show you why in a second. But first off, I'm going to just stand him next to the Venom from the 3-pack, and you can see they're fairly similar in height, but this one is a little bit taller, but you can definitely see the differences. And when I say this is my favorite, this isn't saying that this one is bad whatsoever. This one is so amazing, if not better in some ways. I just think personally, on the basis of just a classic Venom, what I want for Venom, just, you know, we have our retro Spidey, which I think is the perfect Spidey, or the Renew Your Vow Spidey, which is the perfect Spidey. I want a perfect Venom, and in my opinion, this is what this is. This is a awesome Venom, but it's a design that's very specific, and especially when you even take the wings off, it's still like a movie Venom. It's, even though it's painted like a comic Venom, it's still obviously a movie Venom. But The other thing I want to get into with this, which is another reason why I really, really like this figure, and it makes this figure even better as well, is all the head swaps you can do. So here we have the main head, I think, from the Winged Venom. Now, this is the one with the tongue. This looks so, so good. It has a little bit of texture on it, which does match up more with the texture on the movie, or the Winged Venom, but it definitely does still work on here, especially when you get it in some poses. And then here we also have, this one isn't part of either, but this is the classic Venom that was on the Hyperion body. Whoa, that has a lot of like poison on it. That's awesome. But that head works so, so well. So in my opinion, this could potentially be the best Venom, because that head sculpt is just so because we've had that Venom for so long. So that's just my picture in my head when I think of a Marvel Legends Venom. So this on this body is a pretty good figure. And then lastly, well, not lastly, I don't think, well, actually, yes, that's the last one. This head sculpt looks so, so good on here. This, I don't know. I don't want to say it's my favorite, but I think this looks really, really good. Just the design of it looks so good. And for some reason, it kind of gives me the vibes of the Venom in the upcoming Spider-Man game. That might just be me, but I don't know. I think that looks so good. But all these heads look really good. And you can also do the same thing over here. You can put the heads from the 3-pack Venom on the Winged Venom. And this is the one that I really like on here. That just looks so good in my opinion. And then you can also get the kind of phasing Venom right here. That one also looks very good. But that's just why I like this Venom so much is, well, that's not the reason, but it's certainly a contributing factor. It just makes this figure even better in my opinion. And it also makes this one even better in my opinion. So when I do my ranking for the top 10 figures of the year, I am kind of thinking of maybe putting both of these on one spot just because of the, you know, changeability of heads, like the interactivity with both of them. That might just be me, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that is all the comparisons I have. So let's get into my final thoughts for this awesome 3-pack. For my final thoughts on this 3-pack, if you guys couldn't tell throughout the video, I absolutely love this set. It's just a puzzle piece kind of release. Everything about this just fits so perfectly in my collection. We get the final 2 Life Foundation figures that we've been wanting for so, so long. And then we also get this Venom, which is, in my opinion, the best Venom that they've made. So we get these 2 figures, which we wanted, and we kind of knew that we were going to get. But I just find the way that they released it, too, is very, very nice. I do kind of see one thing that kind of bothers me with this is, I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of wish they might have, instead of doing that Spider-Man 5-pack, they would have just done a Life Foundation 5-pack, because some of those old Life Foundation figures are already expensive, and if they're definitely going to go up with these. So I don't know. I feel like they could have done that. And just to get the Venom with just 2 members in a box set, I mean, and one of them being deluxe, it's just an interesting release, something that or we don't really see too common in the Legends line. But that's kind of just me rambling. But overall, this set is amazing. I highly recommend it. It is $120 Canadian, and this set is very, very high in demand. It's been out of stock for so long. I had to get it from a local seller, and I paid about $120, which is retail. So if we divide that up, that's, I'd say, probably $50 for this figure. 50, pushing it 60. This, I'm gonna say 40, just because, I don't know, I think I would pay 40 for this. So 40, 50, and then 30. And even if this was 30, it's a good deal. I think it's a pretty good deal. And, you know, maybe you'll get a deal down the line. But if I'm being honest, if you want this, I wouldn't wait on this, because Amazon, they have 2 types of exclusives. They have the ones that come out and are available for, you know, 5 years. There's some on there that are so old, and they have the ones that come out that are super, super rare. They come on the site, and then they're very high in demand. They go in and out of stock for a little bit, and then they're gone forever. Like the 5-pack for Infinity War, the Children of Thanos 5-pack. That's my most desired set. And then other things like the Emperor Palpatine. There's just a whole bunch of things like that that go very, very high in value once they're done. And I think this is definitely going to be one of them. So if you want it, and if you see it in stock, I would pull the trigger if I were you. This is a really good set, and I honestly don't think you will be disappointed. This Venom is chef's kiss. It is absolutely amazing. So overall, as a 3-pack, I know some people have some problems with this Riot, but I really like it. So I think I'm going to give this a rating of 9.5. I think that's my rating. My only main gripe is the hand with Riot, and then the paint, I guess, on Venom. But other than that, it's just a really, really good set. So overall, that's my thoughts on it. But as always, let me know what you think of this set in the comments below. Are you going to pick it up? What are your thoughts on it? I think it's absolutely amazing. But just leave your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I will respond. But until my next video, thank you all so, so very much for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow. But until then, we are Venom. Bye, guys.